Every age has its single most famous human being, and who that person is, a god king, a saint, a boxer, a teenager with a phone, tells you exactly what that age worshipped. Fame has always been a mirror. This is its story. For almost all of human history, to be famous meant just one thing: to still be remembered after you were dead. In a world without writing, the only way to outlive death was to be sung about. The Greeks called it kleos, glory. Homer's Achilles is offered two fates: a long, forgotten life, or an early death and undying glory in verse. He chooses the glory. The oldest story we have, written nearly 4,000 years ago, is about exactly this hunger. Gilgamesh, the half-divine king of Uruk, journeys to the ends of the earth searching for immortality, and finds it only in being remembered. Around 2300 BCE, a name finally attaches to a face. Enheduanna, a Sumerian high priestess, signs her own hymns, the first author known by name in all of history. Fame stops being an anonymous tradition and becomes a single person. Then kings learned to manufacture it. Ramesses the Great covered Egypt in colossal statues and temples like Abu Simbel, broadcasting himself as a living god across 66 years on the throne. In the ancient world, fame meant power and holiness fused into one. But the most durable fame of all belonged to teachers. Moses, Laozi, the Buddha, Jesus, Muhammad, 5 founders whose religions are followed today by roughly 6 billion of the world's 8 billion people. No emperor ever came close. And here's the strange part: the greatest teachers wrote nothing. Socrates, Confucius, the Buddha, all famous only because devoted students wrote them down. Plato alone dramatized Socrates in more than 30 dialogues. Fame depended entirely on who chose to remember you. Through conquest, one man eclipsed them all. Alexander built an empire of 5 million square kilometers before he turned 30 and is said to have never lost a battle. The historian Paul Cartledge put it simply: until the internet age, Alexander was probably the most famous human being who ever lived. His legend outran his life. For over 1,000 years, the fantastical Alexander romance was copied and translated into nearly every language of Europe and the Islamic world. After the Bible, the most popular story in the pre-modern West. In the Middle Ages, fame ran on holiness. The Emperor Charlemagne hoarded relics, the Virgin's cloak, Christ's swaddling clothes, turning his chapel at Aachen into a pilgrimage site for 600 years. In time, he was made a saint himself. Then, in the 1450s, Gutenberg's printing press detonated the reach of fame. A monk named Martin Luther became its first superstar, selling over 500,000 copies of his pamphlets, Europe's single most published author. For the first time, renown could be mass-produced. Print also invented the celebrity artist. In 1550, Giorgio Vasari published the first true art history book and turned Leonardo, Michelangelo, and Raphael into household names. Genius itself was now a path to lasting fame. The Enlightenment crowned the thinker. Voltaire has been called Europe's first truly modern celebrity, and Benjamin Franklin's experiments with electricity made him a household name across 2 continents. Now Discovery, too, could make you world famous. Napoleon turned all of this into a machine. The French state churned out hundreds of heroic portraits, like David's painting of him crossing the Alps, in what one historian called an almost industrial production. It is the blueprint for every political image since. Photography made fame a face you could hold. In the carte de visite craze of 1858, portraits of Charles Dickens sold by the thousands. He sat for the camera over 120 times, the first celebrity, one scholar says, truly made of photographs. Then, the image started to move. Because his tramp never spoke, Charlie Chaplin leapt over every language barrier at once, and by the 1920s, he was, by most accounts, the the most famous person alive on the entire planet. Radio gave fame a voice in your living room. In 1933, Franklin Roosevelt's first fireside chat reached more than 60 million Americans in a single moment, in a country where most homes now owned a radio. Television and satellites carried a single face to the entire world. Muhammad Ali's biggest fights drew an estimated 1 to 2 billion viewers, the most watched events of their age, making a boxer one of the most recognized humans on Earth. But somewhere in all that broadcasting, fame came loose from achievement. In 1962, the historian Daniel Borstein gave it a name. A celebrity, he wrote, is a person who is known for his well-knownness. Soon, you did not need to do anything at all. Figures like Paris Hilton and the Kardashians built global fame on visibility itself. The artist Andy Warhol had seen it coming. In the future, he said, everyone would be world famous for 15 minutes. And then, the gatekeepers vanished. By 2025, Cristiano Ronaldo had become the first human to pass 1 billion followers, while a YouTuber called Mr. Beast, famous for nothing but online video, crossed 450 million subscribers. Anyone now can be seen by the whole planet. From a campfire to 1 billion followers, the mechanism kept changing. Oral legend, writing, print, photograph, radio, film, television, the feed. The reach grew from a village to a kingdom to the whole planet. And one modern star is now known to more people than were even alive in all of antiquity. Every age crowns the famous person it deserves. The God King, the saint, the genius, the star, the influencer. So the real question is not who is famous now. It is what that says about us. Thanks for watching.